Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the main card fights for UFC Fight Night, Thompson versus Till. Without further ado, let's get into the first fight on the main card. So in our first fight on the main card, we have in the bantamweight division, Davy Grant versus Manny Bermudez. Davy Grant has been inactive for 18 months, mostly due to that injury he suffered in his last loss via armbar. And now he's coming back fighting a submission ace who's basically as close as you could kind of get to Brian Ortega, or maybe similar to Brian Ortega, however you want to say it. Manny Bermudez is deadly with submissions. He's not going to be like some wrestler type submission artist, but he's like a Brian Ortega type of submission artist. He can hit you with submissions just from just about anywhere at just about any time. Sets them up very well, and he goes at them with a lot of tenacity. So he's a very scary fighter for anyone, and especially Davy Grant, who, though he has a lot of submission and most of his wins came out of submission, I think he doesn't fare too well when he fights a superior submission, superior grappler, superior submission artist. However you like to explain it, he doesn't do well when he fights a better like grappler. Even though Davy Grant does well in grappling, I think he's more so a striker. That's where he's best at on the feet when he's striking. But he can certainly be deadly on the ground as well. But against Manny Bermudez, I think that's not really a no-go. He wants to keep this fight on the feet. And I think Manny Bermudez is eventually just going to catch him in some submission. It's going to be a lot of filling out process, but once Manny Bermudez figures him out and breaks him down a little bit, I think submission will come shortly after. And I feel that will happen in the second round. So in this fight, I have Manny Bermudez be a second round submission. Then on to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, Jason Knight versus Makwan Amirkhani. And Amirkhani is a very talented fighter. He has pretty good grappling, offensively and defensively. His striking it's fair. It's not necessarily spectacular. It's not bad, but it's right around the middle. He can use it effectively. Jason Knight about the same. I think he has a little more power in his punches. It's certainly not the most technical. It gets sloppy at times. He has good submissions off his back. He can push a high pace, and he's fought in the better competition and beaten the better competition. I think Makwan Amirkhani been a lot of time out of the fight. I mean, hasn't fought in a while. Maybe he's been improving on some stuff. So I don't know exactly how he'll appear. I mean, how he will be in his return. He could have got significantly better out, or he could have got worse. Maybe he's got him rusty. Maybe he's got him better. Jason Knight is, I think, on at least a 2-fight losing streak. I think he kind of let himself go a little bit as far as technical wise. He was just riding that streak and just kind of I don't know. He let himself go a little bit as far as mentally. As far as fights, he just wanted to go for the brawl and stuff and start looking at it in the technical aspect. He let himself let his edge off. He lost his edge a little bit. So in this fight, I think he's definitely going to try to regain his edge. Maybe in the training camp, he's trying to regain his edge. So in this fight, two fighters are trying to regain their edge. But I think Jason Knight, based off just how they match up, I think Amirkhani could take him down. But I think his pressure is enough to keep Jason Knight off his back, but I think his defensive grappling, he'll be able to shut down a lot of Jason Knight's rubber guard and his little arm bars and whatever he's trying to go for off his back. I think Amirkhani will be able to shut it down, but at the same time, I don't think he'll be able to hold Jason Knight down. I think Jason Knight will be able to at least use those submission attempts to either gain reversal or create space to get back to his feet. So this fight will be on the ground and in the stand-up as well, but I don't think it will be on the ground too long to the point where Makwan Amirkhani will be able to use it as his route to victory. Now I fell on the feet that Jason Knight will be the fighter that could land the harder punches, take the harder punches. And on the feet, I see him. And also, I think Makwan Amirkhani, at least from the fights I've seen, I see like he has a kind of a cardio issue, or a slight cardio issue. So down the stretch, that's also something that could factor in. Jason Knight will have the advantage there. So overall, I see it's been a highly competitive fight, ground and feet. They'll be able to get taken down, get back to his feet, work it out, fight there, fight here. And I just see Jason Knight pretty much being a fighter that can last longer, push the pace longer, landing the more significant strikes, and controlling the fight more. And through 3 rounds, I see Jason Knight winning the decision. So in this fight, I have Jason Knight via decision. And then to our next fight, we have in the featherweight division, Arnold Allen versus Mads Burns. I think Matt Burns came up in the fight. He debuted at 155 against Prazeres, I believe. And then he's since dropped down. He just came in and fought at 155 because of the short notice fight. And Prazeres is a pretty hard matchup for anybody, especially on short notice. So you can't really say too much bad about him. But all that being said, I think Arnold Allen is just about better than him in every area. I think he's a better striker. He's a better talent. He has a better cardio. He's more technical. Around the same size as each other. So I see Arnold Allen just dictating the pace everywhere this fight goes, whether it be on the feet, on the ground, going forward, going backwards. I see Arnold Allen dictating this fight. I certainly see him using a lot of grappling. He'll be the fast fighter. And, you know, in the Mads Burnell's last fight, he dealt with a lot of strength going in difficulty. I think speed difficulty and along with grappling will be the challenge in like pretty much what will be his downfall in this matchup. I think Arnold Allen will be quicker to these takedowns and these setups, whatever he needs to set up, take him down and control him and be quicker on the transitions and really prevent Masvidal from really doing whatever he wants to do or even really getting comfortable in this fight. But I'm going to say he's a tough fighter, so he'll be able to make the decision. It will be a clear-cut decision after 3 rounds, so I say Arnold Allen via decision. Then on to our next fight in the co-main event. In our co-main event, we have in the welterweight division, Neil Magny versus Craig White. And Neil Magny was originally supposed to fight Gunnar Nelson, but Gunnar Nelson pulled out the fight due to injury. And now Craig White is stepping in as a late replacement. He's a local guy from the England or Euro scene. So that's why they brought him in, because his card is in, obviously, England. So they're bringing in a local guy. I don't think he's of the caliber that Neil Magny is, or Gunnar Nelson is, or people that Neil Magny has faced in the past or recently. I don't think, based off his record, he hasn't beat anybody that really went to the upper echelons or really had much success, at least yet. They haven't. And he himself has yet to really fight anybody at upper echelons, but this is his opportunity. I think anybody that steps in the octagon certainly has a chance, and he's a respectable fighter, well-rounded, good submission skills. And Neil Magny has most of his losses come by submission, but that doesn't really say much because Neil Magny had lost to pretty much the best submission, some of the best submission artists, some of the best top-level Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioners, such as Damian Maia, who's one of the best BJJ practitioners, period, all time, and Rafa dos Anjos, who is pretty much like it's called a long-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and a top-notch Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, and Sergio Moraes, who's a world champion at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So it's like you can't really compare it. And then all in all, I think that Neil Magny's going to be a little bit too much for the guy. I think he's respectable, and the guy's going to be to make it to the decision. Neil Magny won't submit him because Neil Magny's not really known for submissions. Neil Magny won't knock him out. He's not really a power puncher. But Neil Magny will be in shape. Always he'll be in shape even on 2 days' notice. New opponent, whatever. He's not going to be too bothered by it. He's going to come in just like he always is, ready for a fight, like a true professional that he is. And I think he's going to put on a good performance. It's going to be a clear-cut decision. So in this fight, I think that Neil Magny wins this fight via 3-round decision. So on to our main event, we have in the welterweight division, Stephen Thompson versus Darren Till. And this is will be a striking showcase, striking master show. And it will be a spectacle, or it could potentially be a spectacle. It might be upsetting, it might be boring, or whatever the case, but this is certainly a match of two of the best strikers in the sport, period, right now. Darren Till is one of the younger talents who could potentially be the face of the division at one time, could potentially be the face of the division, and certainly is a rising star in the division. And they're trying to boost him up. That's why they're fighting in England. And Stephen Thompson, you already know about him. He's a highly decorated kickboxer and pretty much the number 2 guy in the division behind Tyron Woodley. Or you can say number 1 because Tyron Woodley's the champion. But either case, he's the second best guy in the division as of late or as of recent. So this is certainly a big fight to have. And I think it'll be gonna be a hard fight to really truly judge or gauge because their striking styles are so different. I think Darren Till certainly packed a lot more power in his style, whereas Stephen Thompson's style requires a lot more fleet-footedness, a lot of movement, a lot of darting in and out, picking punches and picking time to throw kicks and stuff, setups. A lot of more gauging. Darren Till's style is certainly more just like impactful as far as power. He's certainly packed a lot more punch and stuff, and like wants to hurt you with more strikes with that Muay Thai type of style of striking. His counter strike is pretty good, and that could serve him well because kickboxers like what's it called, at least point style karate or kick. I'm gonna say karate. Those karate fighters usually kind of dart in with their chins up, hands down. They require a lot of like setups and speed and beating to the punch, but a lot of times their defense is really only based off their foot movement and their time. And if their timing is even thrown off a little bit, you could land on them because their chins are really high up in the air at times. And Darren Till could capitalize on that. He certainly could win this fight. But I'm really going to start leaning to Stephen Thompson just based on experience and kind of what he's been kind of picking off at this fight. That really Darren Till's really only effective with one hand. And Stephen Thompson having the footwork that he has and being at the level he's been on for so long, I think he can pick off when Darren Till is loading up on certain punch or his counters. And the 5-round fight certainly gives Darren Till a lot of time to work on that. But I think Darren Till's cardio is the best. I think Stephen Thompson has more heart and more cardio. As I seen in the Dalby fight, that's a little while back, I seen Darren Till kind of breaking that fight in the 3rd round. And I never really see Stephen Thompson break. Even if he's in a bad moment, getting dropped, he's always fresh, always got heart. Getting deep submission, he's always has that heart. And I think that was serving well going into the later rounds. He'll be able to go 5 rounds. This will be Darren Till's first time going 5 rounds. So I think they all will factor in. Stephen Thompson, even if he gets caught, I think he'll have the heart to survive. And definitely after the Tyron Woodley fight, he showed he could take a punch. He'll get dropped, he'll get put in bad positions, but he won't get finished. He'll what's it called, make it through. So I think Darren Till will certainly have opportunities to capitalize, but I think his fight goes later on. I think it will be in Stephen Thompson fight. And they're both being tough guys in their own way. I think they'll be able to push this fight to the later rounds. And I think once the later this fight goes, actually it'll be the better it will be for Stephen Thompson. And I just see him winning this fight via decision. It'll be a siding fight throughout. But Stephen Thompson will be the one being able to stay at that pace the whole time, whereas Darren Till, I think his pace will drop. And then Stephen Thompson will capitalize on his pace dropping, pick up his pace, and just pretty much start widening the gap on the judges' scorecard and win a pretty competitive fight, but a clear-cut decision for Stephen Thompson. So in this fight, I have Stephen Thompson via decision. And that concludes my fight predictions for UFC Fight Night, Thompson versus Till. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back for more videos. Peace.